Hello everybody and welcome. This is Branded Player 23 and today I bring you a special deck profile. Yesterday we had the first OTS of the competitive season, Justice Hunters and Allianceinsight. Guess what? I got top 8. It was a small tournament. It was only 23 players. I started with Dubai and I won 2 matches that were clutch, and then I got dragged into the playoffs because of tiebreakers, which I lost in first round to a Blue Eyes deck. I bricked pretty hard. More about that later, but definitely shout out to me. I'm gonna upload his deck profile after this one, so you might want to check it out, you Blue Eyes lovers. I was playing Branded. Believe it or not, Branded for me is really strong. It has been really strong since I don't know, the last 2 booster sets. I stopped playing it because of Mitsurugi, but I found a way to make it work, and I think this is probably the peak Branded option right now without having to restricting the opponent into summoning from the extra deck or anywhere else. I'll go into more details about it, but if you want to know more about how to play the deck the way I do it and which combos do I do it, let me know that in the comments. Enjoy the video and let's get into the deck profile. Alright, let's go with the Branded staples. Big mystery here, we're gonna run 3 copies of Fallen Valvas. At some point in my life I thought that you could run 2 to make some space. I was really afraid to get close to 60, but I always push Branded to get closer to 50, even in the Kashtira set days. But 3 Falling Valvas is a must. Then we do 2 Albion, Shrouded Dragon. I use 2, no need for the 3. Like, you're only gonna use the effect once per turn, and some duels get decided within 2 turns. So you may only want to see it once and then use it once. If you're able to recycle it to get into more plays, even better. With the 2 Quem, and some people have different opinions about this. For me, 2 Quems is always mandatory. Their latest addition that I had is 2 Cartesia. I was afraid to run it. I thought it was not good, but guess what? Cartesia is never the brick, and you can special summon it from hand. You can use it to dodge Veiler, to dodge Imperm. You may give your opponent a draw if you special summon it from your hand if they use Parolia on you, or you may give them a draw if you use Fusion Deployment, but sometimes it's totally worth it. Another card that I'm running to right now, and I think is mandatory, Traffic Your Career. Very good card. You could use both effects on the same turn, so keep that in mind because that's really, really powerful if you get to do it. Now, one card that you cannot use both effects at the same turn is Oliver. That's why I run 2 of them. I think more than 2, it's definitely not needed. It's one of the normal summons of the deck. Not always need to do it, to be honest. Oliver has going to not the second tier for the plays that I have, probably the 3rd one. I do it only if it's mandatory, if it's absolutely necessary. This is the Bestial package, 1 Lubellion, 2 Saturnair. And now we go with the 1-of cards. So you know what I'm running this. I don't know why everybody stopped running Dragoon, but I think it's a very good card. I have a 1 Dark Magician. You can bring it into the field with Fusion Duplication, which is a great play. Sometimes you're restricted to effect monsters, and some cards may even have effects that restrict you from playing monsters at all that have an effect. So this is a normal monster that could bring out of your deck. It has 2,500 attack, and you could use it for different purposes, like removing it with Allure of Darkness. We have 1 Maximus because we're running the Lagmatica package, which is really good as well. 1 Kit, 1 Tragedy. This card is really good. Turlum and Sharon. I used to have it mostly because it would allow me to go into a Dracotail play. I got Dracotail out, and I'll tell you what I got into the deck. I don't think Dracotail is a good card at this moment, or it's great, but it's not just the best option, considering how much cards can dodge a targeting effect on field. Now, this is one of the techs or one of the cards that I think I just added recently, probably within the last month. You can check the stream so you can, if you want to see it in action. But this is one of the best cards for me, one of the best hand traps in the format. Yes, I'm running this only hand trap. On the Branded deck is a light monster you can use to fuse with Branded Fusion. You can use to fuse with Cartesia. And if you draw 2 of these, that's 2 negates, one on this turn, one on the next one. So I don't really think this is a brick in most cases, unless you draw all three of them, and even then you will have two other cards to play. The honorary branded multi-army flawless, for sure, one card that you want to draw when you're going second. I never draw it going second. I always draw it going first, and then I have to use it with branded in high spirits, but still is a really good card to get rid of. And if you can remove it from your graveyard, you can go into Rent Room for the luck that I'm going to show you later with Lion Darkness Dragon Lord. Now let's go with the magic cards. Let's start with the ones that we have at 3. So one of the best board breakers ever created in the game, Super Polymerization. I'm running Garura, and I'm running also the Mud Dragon. I have 3 branded opening. Regardless or not you're using more than 5 Despias, I'm only using 5 actually. 2 Quem, 1 Tragedy, and 2 Oliver. This card is really good, mostly because of its second effect, because there's so many cards that pop cards now, like Mitsurugi, Murakumo, or also the one and only Ryseal Detonator, one of the best cards in the game right now. So this is a great card to dodge, also draw. This one card is the best card, anti-draw, but at the same time, this card gives you so much resources. Sometimes dumping this card with Sireneer without thinking of anything else, just to add it at the end of the turn to have one card for a discard in to play my opponent's turn, was one of the best ways I could ever come up with. Don't sleep on this card. We have 3 Fusion Duplication. Well, there's only 2 here, but I want to get the other one later. Let me see if I have it here. It should be somewhere there, but it should be 3 of these. And you have so many targets for this card: Cartesia, Albas, and Dark Magician. You don't really need more than that. Let's see. I have Nadir Servant. That's 3 as well. Great card going first to end your turn. If you get Niv, why not? Niv is still a card. We don't really care about Niv when we're playing branded. There's very real chances that Nivero can impact your plays if you know how to do it, especially if you have this card in your hand. I'm running 2 Allure of Darkness. I don't think 3 it's okay. We're running a lot of light monsters, and there's some even wind monsters like Fuwalu's Mulcharmy. We don't want to draw 3 of these. Even if you draw 2, there's a lot of danger in those plays. You have so many monsters to remove, but at the same time, you have a lot of cards that will not be removable. Like we're running like 27, 26 monsters, and 25 magic cards. If you draw magic cards only, you don't have nothing to remove, you're screwed. We have 1 branded in red. I think everybody knows why we only run 1, even though it's such a great card. The one and only card that really will seal the deal. I think I looked into 2 hands at the tournament after they activated the monster effect, and I made sure that if I was not gonna go into my combos, they wouldn't go into theirs as well, which was a really good card. This card I drew, actually I'm gonna put these 2 together. I had a game where I drew both of these, and it was a custom hand. There was nothing for my opponent to do. Like, this guy really gave up as soon as he had 2 of those, and spoiler alert, he didn't have any interruption. So yep, that's something that happened. 1 branded loss, we're gonna run that. And 3 triple tactics thrust. Shout out to Jonathan. He was the one who told me to do it. I told him I'm gonna run 2. I realized I run 3, and it was a good card. It was a good card for me to draw. I still don't like the targets that I have in the main deck for him, except one of the traps that I'm going to show you now. Like all the magic cards, just having to set them because you have only 1 good trap that is a target, which is a Fusion Duplication. That's fine, but then after that, I have 2 other cards, Branded Banishment, that I could set. That's fine, and the 1 other trap, Branded Retribution. I even thought about setting this card for 2. Sometimes it's really good. I'm also thinking about running that new trap card that came out in Allianceinsight. The one that negates almost every card for if you have a 2500 attack monster in your field. That's a really good one for what I'm thinking about putting in. Let's move on to the extra deck. Let's start with the Albus Fusions. Double Albion and 1 Lubellion. Pretty staple for branded. 1 Mirrorjit, and if you're a branded player, I need you to hear me when I tell you this. 1 is enough. I know a lot of people say 2, that's their playstyle, and I think that's fine for them. I've always made sure since I started playing branded to not make this card the main center of my combo. Yes, you can pop cards after it gets removed from the field, which is an amazing effect, so you gotta know when to place it in the field. But then at the same time, reviving it to trigger more Alba's effects in the graveyard at the end phase is not always good, because I really make sure that I dump cards from my extra deck in so many other ways. You can do it with Grand Grineal, you can do it with Nadir Servant, that's like 3 cards in a single turn, and you can dump one more with this one, and you will be dumping 4 cards from the extra deck plus all the fusions. I really tally up and make sure that by the time I already fusion summon my 5th monster, I'm already set to negate almost everything or interact with all the cards my opponent has. So with this guy, if you run 1, you can also leave space for other support cards like this too. This is probably one of the best brand fusions right now. This card by itself could break that board that the new Luna-like cards has, especially if you combine it with other good cards. Like if you fusion summon this card with Lubellion and an Albion Shrouded from your graveyard, this card will have up to, how much? It's like 8 and 8, that's 16 plus 25, that's 4,100 attack points. Yeah, that Luna Light fusion summon is gonna be looking like a little toddler when you summon this one. So this is a good card. It's also unaffected by the effects of special summon monsters from the extra deck. So if they summon the SP play, they cannot target this monster. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the Alba's fusions. Now there's also some branded staples. I'm gonna start with Grand Guignol, only running 1 for now, guys. I always think about running 2. 1, it's okay. I'll let you know if there's any for another one later. 2 Despia fusions that are targets as well for Grand Guignol, and fusion summoning with any Despia that I have in my deck. Believe me, I use these probably more than Mirror Jet. I will trigger into it. I will default into any of these way before that. With this monster, you can revive so many good cards that the opponent has and use them against them. My most favorite one is when you revive Ryseal Detonator. And with this one against Malice, against Ryseal, it's also a really good card because they have the ways that they have to get rid of this monster only affects them with that monster on its own. So if you need to pass the turn with Grand Guignol, remove it when they special summon any monster by effect, bring back Despia Quiritus, and they need to be thinking how are they going to do the strategies really well, because this can trigger into so many things and it gives you control of the field. Unless they're playing a strictly fusion deck like Blue Eyes, or, well, that uses a lot of fusion. Another target for Super Poly is Garura and also Mud Dragon. This is really good because some Mermail players can play really well, and I think overall the Mermail players have evolved as the combos have been more knowledge, having more general knowledge for everybody. So with this one card, you can get rid of the statue and one of the big monsters, and then continue your branded plays. Also, from any other deck that uses 2 monsters from the same attribute. This one specifically for Yummy was okay. I remember I had a match against a Heraldic Beast Ryseal deck, and I summoned Quem, dumped the branded Retribution, and then fusion summon with a, what was it? What's the name of this card? A Protoss, yeah, Protoss, and Quem, and also one other XYZ monsters, and the guy was, yeah, he was lost. Poor guy. He said Dark, but he was gonna get into something. Chimera Guardian or Guardian Chimera, I honestly am thinking always about getting this card out, and this one card is there just because I'm running Branded in Red, and this card can benefit from having Branded in Red in your deck. That's the only reason why I'm having this, and at the same time, Branded in Red is there because I have this card. It's a great play. I used to run the Chaos Star Source Dragon, but Konami decided that it was not a card that was going to be run again. So yeah, no. Red Eye Dragoon, self-explanatory, is a boss monster. A lot of decks cannot get rid of it without having to compromise into 2 or 3 cards, some of them even more. And this is the one lock that I like to run. I love this card so much because of the interactions that you can create with it. Since it's a mandatory trigger effect, your opponent may not respond to your cards if you activate something. Let's say your opponent goes through the 3 negations that it has, or by any chance they activate Dark Root or no more on you, and this card is still in the field. The effect is negated, it cannot trigger, but if you activate something, it's gonna chain automatically to your effect, so your opponent cannot respond. So this is a great card to run if you wanna be competitive with how many interactions the newer decks from Justice Hunters have. And I have one card from Justice Hunters. I didn't bring a Dracotail, but I got Mysterion, the Dragon Crown. I'm still testing. I got to summon it once against the Yugioh deck. He got rid of it, but it drew all of its attention and resources to get rid of this monster, and that helped me achieve the victory. So for this one card, at least for the part where it gains the attention of the opponent resources, I think it's a really good card. Next, we're gonna go into the side deck. Not too many spicy things. I actually didn't play all the cards that I wanted. I have some fusions here. This is for the blue-eyes matchup. I don't think you should run this card as a main deck. It's not really that good. There's not that many dragon decks, and the effect of just attacking all monsters with 2500 is not that compensating for keeping it, using that space in the extra deck. In the unlikely event that we go into time, yeah, I would prefer not to play it, but it's there. Fortunately, I have one more fusion. This one, it's actually just using the space on my extra deck, on the side deck, I'm sorry. But this is meant to be here just because I got rid of Lancia and I'm running Chaos Hunter, so I can revive it and prevent my opponent from going into more plays. Board breakers, if needed, this is a really good one. Always a good choice to run in your side deck. This one card is running to 3 because Yummy. Yeah, Yummy is a card that I wanna see playing with this. Maybe Canine would be a good option to play against this, but definitely also it could be an option against Vanquish Soil. So it could be a good option against Vanquish Soul. 3 Raigeki. If a deck can survive one of them and then another one, then it's probably you might as well just pick up yourself and leave. But yeah, this one, it's a really good card against a lot of decks, especially when they brick. And draw, I think it's one of the best cards, or has been one of the best cards all year long. So I'm keeping it here just for the Mitsubishi Raisil and their variants. So there you go, that was the deck profile. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Any suggestions if you're a branded player, and don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you. See you in the next one.